Hiya! I took a week's break from recording videos, but I'm back. I really want to share this with you. I won a giveaway on Instagram run by Zebra. I wasn't the winner. I was like the second or the runners-up. And this is what they've sent me. Like, all these pens. Today we'll just be using this set. Hi! My name is Kama and I go by Weird is the Best on the internet, and you can find me pretty much on all social media. I'm a mixed media artist based in UK, and I love sharing sketchbooks and drawing in sketchbooks and drawing in general. I just love art ever since I started in... It was a weird one because I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I started on the 1st of January 2020. Weird timing, I know. And I drew every day for quite a while, and then I kind of had a few art blocks, and now I'm back on track, so I'm drawing every single day, and I'm on day like 560-ish or so. So yeah, I can't wait to show this to you. I would like to draw instead of swatching because I think, I don't know, I've been swatching quite a lot of art materials, and I think it's time to do it in a slightly different way, just a bit more fun and engaging. So I'll just draw something, and I picked my old sketchbook. So this is a Royal Talents art creation sketchbook. It's the smallest size they make. It's got some stickers on it. These, I'm not sure, they're like generic set from a shop, and these are original Namco Sailor Moon stickers. And yeah, I've been using these sketchbooks for quite a while, and this is my 3-color sketchbook, and I was using Tombow brush pens, so it will be a nice comparison because I know mildliners are more meant for journaling and things like that, highlighting, but I've seen a few artists use them as sketchbook just for drawing. I kind of saw them in Japan, and I was like, I don't want to risk getting yet another art supply. I have too many. So I didn't actually buy them, but now I have plenty of colors, so I think it's time to bust those out and try them. And I've never used them before, so I'm really interested to see how they will act on this paper. It might not be the best paper for it, so I might switch to a Midori sketchbook, which should be better if that becomes an issue. But for now, I think we'll stick to art creation. So this is an older sketchbook. It's from 2024, and yeah, I just picked 3 colors from Tombow brush pens. Obviously, I'll be using all of these colors, hopefully. A lot of these pens are kind of the same colors, but in different ended nibs. And there are some gel pens. I love gel pens. I love doodling with them, so I can't wait to get into these. And yeah, I'll pick out a few, as a while ago I asked you if you would like me to redraw my older art, or like maybe I asked you what you wanted to see and someone said redraw your own art or something like that. So I think I'm going to pick something from the sketchbook, and I was thinking the mini landscapes are quite a nice thing to redraw, but I think I'll start with my comfort zone, so like mostly cats. I used to draw a lot of fish, which I'm getting back into because I love drawing fish, but I think I'm more comfortable with cats, so we'll start with that. And yeah, the sketchbook has a lot of different topics, lots of drawing sessions, but I think let's go with the cat. That will be our first. And I have this new sketchbook, so this one's I started very recently, and I use it mostly for like kind of journaling, but not really journaling. It's more of a sketchbook with a bit of history in it, I guess you could say. I am into the story element of art making recently, and I think it's a great way, like a sketchbook, it's a great way to have... Sorry, I just check. Yes, I'm recording. That's good. It's like a nice way to document your life, and you know, you often remember what you drew, or at least I do, what I drew, where I was, what I was doing, and it's in general a great practice to sketchbook. But this one I kind of do a lot more writing in. But not just. I think it's fine to have a sketchbook however you want. Even if you have an intention at the beginning, you can switch. You know, you can make it your own. And there is a plant on the back, so it might be a bit difficult to draw, but I'm going to treat it as any as I would on any other day when sketchbooking. So I'll just continue drawing here with all the imperfection on this paper. I don't mind. It's just a sketchbook, you know. I know a lot of people, especially like more known artists, will only share like their super nice finished sketchbooks. But if you've been here a while, you will know, because I've shared tons of sketchbook tours, which I'll link to at the end of the video as well. And I just like sharing, and I like drawing imperfect, perfect and imperfect. I don't really mind doing that. So yeah, let's get into this. I think this got a sticker. Yeah, I was very lucky. I felt very lucky for winning this. This was like, you had to share, answer some questions in the stories, and oh god, they were a bit tricky to be honest, but you could find all the answers in their posts. And yeah, I was really surprised that I won something. It was a nice surprise, definitely nice surprise. And yeah, I loved receiving the package. I was I was kind of gobsmacked by getting so much. Honestly, yeah, I wasn't even like the main winner, so yeah, very interesting. Okay, just going to make sure that everything's in shot. Oops. So yeah, like I said, this video, just to make it clear, is not sponsored. This is my absolutely honest, like, I've been sent these because I want to give away, and I'm testing them as I would any other art material that I bought in the shop and stuff. But yeah, I didn't pay for them because I want them. Okay, so this set is it's quite a big set. I think it's got 18 pieces. And it's got brush pen, so mildliner brush, and it's I'm always going backwards. I don't know what it is about my brain that always wants to go against the grain. But yeah, it's a journaling and lettering set, and I used to love lettering. I actually never came across these when I was doing my lettering. But yeah, it says it's good for lettering, so that's good to know. So it's a pastel set, and it has mildliner brush. It's got a brush tip and bullet nib, and yeah, double-ended, and water resistant. That's actually really important to me sometimes. So I do love that they are water resistant. I'm not sure if I'll test it because we'll see how I feel, because I don't really like water testing, I guess. I don't know. And there are also mildliner chisel tip and bullet nib, so it's very similar but with a harder nib on one end. Again, water resistant. And Sarasa clip, which I've never heard of before up until like I took part in this giveaway. I know that a lot of the questions in it were to do with this pen. And it's a gel ink roller ball, smooth non-smearing pigment ink, and it's a 0.5 millimeters fine point. I prefer a thicker gel pen, but we'll see how this one works. It might be good, I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, let's get into drawing. I'm trying not to give you the reflection from my light. I think that's good. Okay, so this is the brush nib and the super fine nib. It doesn't, oh, it's just blue. Okay, so the color name is blue. Not very creatively named, but it does what it says on the tin, I guess. So I'm just going to draw the cat. And bear in mind, I'm just warming up, so it's not a perfect, I'm not planning for a perfect cat. So far it feels nice. You may notice that it kind of, you have to layer it a bit more to get even, like an even coating of color. And I knew about this because I've watched some Fiona Stabler's videos. I will try to remember to link her videos up. Where she was drawing these, she got them in Japan. So I saw how they kind of looked, which is why I'm adding like a second layer. And it seems to kind of cover that up a bit. But the same issue happens with Tombows. I think I've learned to become blind to that problem with Tombows because I've used them so much. I have to say, even though it's a pastel set, this blue is kind of nice. Sometimes pastel colors are a bit disappointing, but this is so far quite a nice pen. I'm just trying different ways of drawing with it to see which way works best. Just to get to know my materials. I like doing that sometimes. You know what, I'm going to test the waterproofness of this here. But also I think just by layering a different color, sometimes you will see, like with Tombow brush pens, they will bleed into one another and transfer from one color to another, especially if you did the line work first and then started using a lighter color. It tends to become a bit muddy and picks up the darker color so I always start with the lightest possible color with Tombows, but I am curious to see how this works. And now I'm checking out the bullet nib. It's very thin, but I do think it does say it's a super fine nib, and I tend to prefer much thicker ones, so like with the Tombow brush pens, I think it's good to give you a comparison. Can you tell I like Tombows? I have more than these. I just kept buying them for a while, and I love them all. Like I've used them quite extensively. So yeah, I'll just grab a random color. So this is more of a kind of like a felt nib brush, and you can sort of achieve thicker lines but not really, and it's quite bendy, so it goes from, am I still in shot? I've learned my lesson, sometimes I'm not in shot. So it will go like thin and then thick, which is I guess why this is good for lettering. And Tombow has a very similar nib. Let me just show you the camera. So it has quite a similar nib, looks-wise. It's probably a used up one as well, because I use them quite a lot. So yeah, very similar. I think this one may be a little bit more bendy, but again, I have used it a lot, which would, this will probably become more bendy with use. I'm kind of feeling a bit precious on a new pen, so trying not to like break it or something, I don't know. You know that feeling? So this is the fine nib. And you can kind of get some variation, but not a lot. And the only comfortable way, you kind of get one variation of line. And with Tombow, so just to explain why I'm doing this now, is I'm waiting for this to dry a bit, because that's the best way to layer brush pens usually, is to let the previous layer dry out a little bit. The same with Tombows. If you don't wait long enough, the colors will kind of bleed kind of outwards as you put the next layer up. So that's why I'm giving it a bit more time to dry. And yeah, the Tombow has again very similar nib. Okay, maybe I misremembered, because this isn't that much different, if at all. Like, I'm literally getting the same result. So they're very comparable, and I'm kind of curious because Tombows are great, but they're really hard to fit in a regular pencil case because they're very, very long. They're like the longest brush pen I've ever owned. And I think a lot of artists have an issue with that. So I'll be very curious to see if this will replace my Tombows in my everyday, you know, pouch. Look at the difference. I mean, there's probably a lot more ink in this, but still. That's like, that's a big difference. That is a big difference. Okay. So that was blue. This set doesn't really have very dark colors, but I'll pick maybe this purple next. And actually I'm curious if it's any similar, because it does look very similar. So I'll swatch it here first, just out of curiosity. If you know me, you know I don't follow a script. I just can't follow a script. So my videos are always a bit disjointed. I think it's a slightly different color, but Tombows do make different shades of this sort of periwinkle. I don't know what the color is anymore. So yeah, actually, maybe this will work better. Just curious, because it's more of a, it's not brown, it's pastel as well, so it won't be, it won't be a one-to-one comparison, but just curious. Yeah, that's definitely way too light. Okay, now I'm tempted to open up this one. I try not to open up too many art supplies in one go, because one, it's overwhelming, and two, you end up just never finishing, like never using them as much. But I think I'm going to open this one, just so that we can draw with it properly. So these ones are double-ended brush tip and bullet nib, so very similar to the one I've just tested, but these aren't pastel, so should be a bit easier to layer them. Look at this zebra. I think it's their like mascot. It's really fun. Okay, which one should we use? I think maybe this red, because it's the closest of these colors to this brown. One thing I haven't looked at is they don't bleed. That's good. Okay, time to... Yeah, that's kind of good. There's not too much bleeding. There's a tiny amount of bleeding. I don't know if you will be able to tell, but it kind of goes, feathers a bit out. So like the line isn't as crisp as it should be, I guess. I do see this issue with Tombows sometimes as well. So I'll have to like use it a little bit more in my sketchbooks to really know whether this is a big issue or not. One thing that I'm planning to do soon maybe is record a video of how I learned, of me learning to use acrylics. I've painted a few pictures recently, and I actually sold my first acrylic painting, which was really satisfying. Like, I didn't know if anyone would want them, and my derpy cat, like grumpy cat, sold at the market yesterday, which was very satisfying. So yeah, I might do a video soon of me painting some acrylic paintings and exploring the medium. I do find it obviously much harder than any other medium because it requires you to prep, to clean up afterwards. You can't leave your brushes dirty because the paint will damage the brush when it dries, and they can't be reactivated with water, so you have to be careful about how much you use. So yeah, there's a lot more skill and patience that goes into acrylic paintings, but I'm really excited to learn it. I have loads of these kinds of paints lying around. I keep buying them. I think there's something aesthetically pleasing about Holbein's packaging, the way that they make this look. It just draws me, and all the information is on the packaging really well laid out, with all the like permanency and series, and everything's easy to follow. And I don't know, I just kept buying them, and now I have enough colors to kind of make finished paintings. I also use different brands, which are definitely a lot more accessible in UK. Okay, back to the cat. The cat is coming along nicely. I don't think this is the best color combination, but I do like how the cat is turning out with these brush pens. They layer nicely. Cute. I think this cat is cute. Okay, so that's the cat. Let's test the waterproofness. Okay, oops. Okay. So I'll try it on here. It actually doesn't budge. This is Tombow actually, so that's a good proof to you that Tombows are not waterproof. I was a bit surprised that this bled and this didn't, but that's because this is a different pen. So Tombows are not waterproof, and this is, which kind of opens up a lot of opportunities, I guess, for painting on top. Yeah, I think it's just a different technique that you'll use on both. I don't think there's anything wrong either way. Because Tombows are not waterproof, they're water soluble, you can kind of get them to do different things. Like you can you can paint with them on a piece of plastic, like a sheet, and you can spray it with water, and you can like transfer it to your paper, which I think I've demonstrated on this channel at some point. I'll try and link the video, although I'm not sure if I'll find it. So yeah, there's different uses to it, and it's always good to know your medium. And I don't think there's right and wrong in, you know, whether something's waterproof or not. It's more about what do you need it for. Do you need it to be waterproof? Do you not need it to be waterproof? So yeah, I'm definitely impressed that it does what it says, because a lot of brands I find sometimes claim something's waterproof and it's not. So that's a plus. I'm going to try out the other colors, although something tells me that they won't show up a lot on this paper. It's like an off-white, a natural white. This is almost neon. That's a very interesting color. It's just called yellow. It does say it's archival, which is great, but I'm not sure how archival a neon color can be. I imagine that it's not fully... I think archival means that it will not fade over time, but I don't believe this because it's neon and they are very notoriously fading colors. Okay, so So yeah, this is the yellow. I might use it in like, you know, backgrounds. It doesn't, I know this color combination is probably a bit ugly, but I'll probably use it like this, so to add to maybe some like pencil drawings and things like that. But probably not for general drawing because it's a bit too light on this, especially on this paper. This one's a turquoise, I would guess. Is it called turquoise? It's blue-green. Quite simple names, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, to change things up, because all the colors are matching in both types of pen, let's try this one. So again, oh, this is fine. This is not super fine. So I guess this will be a different thickness. Not very different, but slightly. Yeah, I guess if it's a highlighter, you don't really need it to be super bright. So I can see why they're so light. And as a highlighter collector, I have lots. Yeah, I can imagine, I can see why they are like this. I can still see myself drawing with them. I don't think this is a massive issue. Okay. And this one's, I haven't checked what this one was called. Okay. Is it pink? It's called pink. Okay, would you like to guess what this one is? Violet. Yeah, that's what it says on the tin. We did test it here, I forgot. And the last one, is it orange? Maybe peach? Orange, yes. It's also a bit neon-like. I guess highlighters are generally more kind of neon-y. So yeah, quite nice pens. I will probably be using these colors a bit more. Hopefully they are more opaque or like strong colors. Yeah, definitely. Even the grey one is darker than all the other ones. And these nibs are super fine, so slightly thinner than these ones. Oh, I love this color. Okay, what's this grey? This is grey. I like the, you know, simple names. This is green. I think this is, we've already tested this one, violet. Is it the same? Yeah. This one, dark blue. Very, very nice colors, these. It's my kind of, more my vibes than these neon ones. Yeah, I like these. I can imagine myself doodling with these, maybe mixing like some of them together. Okay, I'm very curious about the gel pens. It's kind of hard to find good gel pens, and I recently tested some that were sent to me by a different brand, and some of them were a bit lacking, to say the least. And as I was testing them, I'll link up the video in the description. But as I was testing them, I was like, maybe I should give them a second chance and like wait for them to be, you know, stored like this. But it didn't actually help, so yeah. Oh, this is like a clip. It's a Zebra Ceresa clip. So I guess it clips onto things. I don't know what the purpose of this is. Maybe clips onto a journal page or something. So it does say to remove this protective thing. The gel pens always have this. I guess it's to prevent them from leaking. And yeah, it's only like halfway filled, which is a bit strange, but let's see how it writes. straight away. It's, you know, doesn't skip. Yeah, it does skip, but it could be that I had my hand on this page, so I'll try and not touch it too much. Let's draw a cat. I did promise I would redraw my old art, so we'll get to it. Maybe do a speed paint at the end, so it's a bit more interesting and pleasing visually. Yeah, I like this pen. It doesn't feel extra special, but it's nice enough. Okay, so what should we redraw? Maybe these two. They're quite nice kind of views. So let's pick a light, medium, and dark tone. For dark tone, I think I want this red. For medium, maybe this blue. And then for light, the pink. I don't know if that's a good combination, to be honest. But there isn't that much. Like, if you're journaling, you probably don't think about colors in the same way as when you're drawing, so I imagine. And purple. Okay. Middle of video interlude. I would like to let you know that I have an online shop, which you can check out in the links in the description below. I sell all kinds of stickers, prints, and art, and comics. All the things that I mentioned. So if you'd like to, you can check out my shop, you can support me there, or you can subscribe to my newsletter, which is also linked down below. So it's the purples, I think, in this one. I'm still trying to recognize values, and one thing that I learned recently is that you can take a picture of your swatches or artwork and then convert the picture into black and white by reducing the saturation in your Photos app. And once you do that, you will see the values. So if the whole picture is like the same gray, then you're not having enough difference in the values. And it's a good idea to generally have the light, medium, and dark tones in your image, just because it adds visual interest and it makes for generally a better illustration or painting. I recently painted this chicken. So that's the one that I didn't sell at the market, but I've since fixed the values on it, and I think as a result it looks much better. I still need to finish it off a little bit, but just by doing the exercise with the black and white, it really helped to differentiate the values. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to stick to different values. Color-wise, I don't think the combo will be the best in the world, but we're working with the colors that I have, so we'll see. Sometimes ugly color combinations are kind of good. And there's this roofing here. Slightly bigger than there, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm all about imperfect art, especially in sketchbooks. I love not being too precious. With my finished pieces, I'm definitely taking a lot more attention, like it's a lot more attention and focus and care to make things look good. But in a sketchbook, you're just exploring ideas, and unless you're treating your sketchbook like an end product that, you know, you're going to show the world as your, you know, art piece, I think it's okay. My brain has to work here because this purple is not this purple in this values. So this is the bit that I'm drawing now. Okay. And this was my dark. Let's see how it fares. Yeah, if I was picking my own colors for myself, I'd probably pick slightly different, you know, colors, but I think this kind of works as a color scheme. Oops. In the past, I used to fill every single spot on the picture and I was struggling with leaving some empty space, but now I'm a bit more loose about it. I think it's more satisfying to do it this way. And I'll go over a few bits just to test how this paper, whether this paper will peel or get damaged, and just to see if I can create different tones by layering. And I think that works a bit better in making this tone darker. Oops. So yeah, I think I could work with this. It's not the perfect colors. I'm missing something much more dark, but I guess maybe I can combine these pens with some Tombow brush pens, of which I have so many colors, I would feel bad buying more mildliners just to get the right tones. So maybe this one's a nice one. Although will it work with these colors? Maybe not. Okay, let's try that. Let's try combining. Yeah, let's try these three. Although these two colors are too similar. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm confusing myself. Okay, let's try this one now. Maybe add some clouds because it's a bit boring here without anything in the sky. A bit more in visual interest. Let me know in the comments whether you're a seasoned artist or if you're starting out, like what sort of art you like making. I do love building a community here and I always find YouTube the most wholesome social media. So I love interacting in the comments. I still reply to all the comments that I get. I'm saying still because I guess it's not always possible for everyone to reply if they have a really big account, but I definitely can still reply to every single comment. So I'd love to find out more about, yeah, where you are in your art journey and what sort of interests you have and what brought you here. Are you looking to learn something? Are you interested in art supplies or sketchbooking? Yeah, I'm curious. Let's be friends. I'm I'm definitely liking the sky a bit better. It just feels more visually appealing and interesting. Okay, let's do the second layer. So like this brownish ochre. I'm not sure what this color is called. Is it ochre? I think it's ochre. I don't have it here. It's one of my favorites. I forgot that you don't get color names on Tombow brush pens, you get numbers and you have to look them up online. But I think this one was called Avocado, if I remember correctly. It's 026, this one. But yeah, I'm using violet here. I don't really remember where I got these landscapes from. It's either from something like Pexels, or it could be from my photos I took while being on the train. I wish I wrote it down, because then I would know what the origin of this was. Yeah, I love going on train trips, because I just sit and draw and like I switch off from the whole world, get in the zone and yeah, and just draw. Okay, and let's use this 757 Tombow brush pen, which is also water-based, but it's not waterproof, which I think it shouldn't be an issue because I'm putting it as last. Anyway. Again, I'm going to try and go kind of loosely, which I kind of forgot with these layers. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like the combination of two more, just because it gives a bit more visual difference between the different colors. Yeah, it's just a different vibe, I guess. I'm curious to know if they make more saturated colors, like deeper, darker colors. With highlighters, you probably wouldn't expect that, so yeah. What else should we redraw? It's interesting. I did a study of using quite similar like highlighter colors ages ago. Sorry about the noise. It's just the floor upstairs creaks a lot. It's one of my favorite sketchbooks, this one, with all just the three colors and all the different things I drew with them. Maybe some of these. They're not like very detailed though. Maybe a bit harder to recreate them. And these are definitely from Pexels, right? Oh no, that's from Scribble Brigade, which potentially was from Pexels, but I'm not sure. This is from was it Odd Orange? No, Monkey Mintaka's session. I guess we could redraw this one. Something from this session. Which one? I mean, this granny is really funny. Let's do this one. It's a bit more chill. And I will use the other color because I don't vibe with this. Purple. And let's use this. So yeah, Monkey Mintaka is a creator here on YouTube and also on Patreon and Instagram, and she runs these sessions on YouTube, on Patreon, but also does some lives on YouTube, so you should check her out. So this will be my lightest. So maybe like the skirt. I don't want to cut off her head though. This is weird. I'm just doing it kind of backwards. I'm not sure why. Don't ask me. That's just sometimes how I work. These pens feel a bit on the dry side. Like, there's not that much juice in them. Definitely not as much as in Tombow brush pens. But by layering I can get somewhere with them. Cool. Let me know what kind of swatching videos you prefer. Like if you've seen my other ones. If not, maybe go there and check them out afterwards. Yeah, I'd love to know which style is better for you. Like this kind of chill, maybe a little bit less structured, but not just going through colors, but making art with them. Or do you prefer, you know, here's color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and doing it more methodically? I think I prefer this way, just because it feels more natural and how I would personally do things. I rarely swatch, even though I know it's a good thing to, like, it's quite useful to swatch. I tend to not do it for some reason. Okay, that would be a good test. So this might be a disaster, but I'll try and use the line work next. And because it's not waterproof, we will see whether it's mildliner proof in a second. Okay, so here's the head. I want to try and exaggerate her body more. Okay, I'm not giving it much chance to dry on purpose, because I want to see what the limits are. Yeah, I think swatching and like testing art materials is not meant to produce beautiful results, although you can probably do it in a nicer way. I like to just see how the materials interact with each other, like basically break it and see how, yeah, where the limits are. But so far, it doesn't really dissolve the Tombow too badly. I think it does, but I can't see it too much, so that's good. Should I do line work first? Let's do line work first. I think it's a bit easier to see what's going on with the line work there. Okay, let's get back to drawing. I had to pause for a second, but I am back. I love how sketchbooks are kind of telling a story, and every sketchbook is different. Even when I look back at mine, I recently looked through some of my sketchbooks just to pick out my favorite pages from the 500 days of drawing, and I promise, I will do a kind of talk through my favorite pages from and what I've learned from them and like how I use my sketchbooks. But there are so many pages that I bookmarked that I just don't know how to start. Once I start, it will be fine. but I don't know how to start. That's the problem. But I would love to share them with you, which is why they've been sitting on my desk. There's like, I don't know how many sketchbooks that I've used in my 500 days of lettering. The first 500 days of lettering, I should say. And they're just waiting to be shared with you. Like, you've seen them if you're around here for a while. You probably saw all of them on my videos as sketchbook tours, but not kind of as more, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, I want to share the tips for sketchbooking and maybe some useful stuff for getting over art blocks and things like that. And just in general, like more of an overview in one go of how I use sketchbooks. Because I think it could be useful to you. I know I would find it super interesting and definitely helpful if I saw this from other artists. So yeah, definitely I'm always interested in sketchbooking and different ways to use sketchbooks. Am I still making sense? Let me know. Sometimes recording videos can be sort of like, it's in a way a lonely task. In a way, because I know you, like, people will still watch it, you are watching it right now, but there is no one to answer. So that's why I always appreciate all of your comments. It helps me get inspired to maybe record more, and it's just nice to have a voice talking back to me, I guess, in a way. While I'm talking about this, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're enjoying this video, I'm guessing if you've made it this far, then you probably are enjoying it. Otherwise, no hard feelings, you can move on, you know, to something you will enjoy more. Okay. Let's do this. Yes. Okay. I've taken a break from YouTube for the last week because I was trying to think through like my plans for my YouTube account and what kind of changes I would like to make. For now, and there won't be any changes that you will notice probably, but I do want to focus more on kind of storytelling and making things a bit more engaging, I guess. So I'm working on it as we speak, and I'm hoping this video is like the first step in that. I won't be perfect because obviously I'm learning and improving as we go, which is kind of how I started this YouTube actually. I wanted to do it for a very long time and then always chickened out, and then one day I just decided, okay, it's time. Recorded myself. It turned out it was just the top of my head, so I had to start from scratch. And yeah, after a few technical issues with my videos, I just dove right into it, and it was never like super perfect, and I just learn as I go. But everyone's been so nice. I occasionally get a mean comment, but not many, really. I find YouTube very wholesome. And I do love even my troll, I guess. I don't know if I can call them troll. It's just this one, someone, hello, who dislikes all my videos for some reason. Every single one. I don't know why, but hey, it's fun. It's funny to see. Okay. I'm going to do a speed paint of this because the video is getting quite long. I know some of you like having this my videos in the background, but I think it will be just a bit more fun as a speed paint. So yeah, see you on the other end. Okay, so here's my redrawn illustration. I just wanted to make it clear that this reference doesn't belong to me, like the original photo didn't belong to me, we copied it. And I'm not sure if this was a picture from Pinterest, it probably was. So it's not a Monkey Mintaka's photo. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because I think it's important to acknowledge. I try to avoid references that I don't have the right to reproduce, but this is a sketchbook work. It's just for practice. I'm not selling it or anything like that. So I think it's okay for this purpose, maybe. But yeah, I like to either give people credit or use royalty-free sites like Pexels or Unsplash. With Unsplash, I think you need to check on each photo whether it's a royalty-free one or like Creative Commons one or not, but Pexels has them all available for free and with the like photographer's permission. Just a disclaimer, I think it's important to mention these things. Okay, as I was drawing, I realized that I probably use these more with graphite as a highlighter around an image that I wish I could find it quickly, but I don't know where my examples are because I have so many sketchbooks. So I think I'll be mostly using these, the darker ones, or like the regular colored ones. But I did enjoy like this blue, for example, and this red on top of it. And I think I quite like this purple as well. So the only ones that don't really, and the blue, like the green and blue are fine. The only ones that don't really go together with the other colors are the like your standard highlighter colors, which no surprise, like they're not really meant to be mixed with bright colors like this. So these I will reserve for the things I usually use highlighters for. So I'll probably do something like, I have so many pencils and I can't find one when I need one. So this is just like a regular graphite. So I would like draw something. It's usually, you know, more detailed, but for the purpose of an example, I would draw something with graphite, and then it's not perfect because sometimes the pen will pick up the graphite and like smudge it, which you could see with this illustration actually, where I've drawn on top of the Tombow brush pen too many times and it kind of started smudging, which is usually what happens with Tombow brush pens. So yeah, I would normally like add some, like a circle around my object or character. I think with graphite, neon colors look quite nice. I do have an example. Okay, so some of the examples that I have are in the sketchbook from 2024. Actually, that was like a year ago, almost. So yeah, like blue graphite and some highlighter pens, just, you know, like your standard highlighter pens. Or, haha, I was celebrating 200 days of drawing. And things like this. Or the magic crayon and some highlighter pens. And I would normally do it on pages like this one. So yeah, that's I think what these mildliners will be good for, to create a bit more color on the page. And one thing that I was thinking of as I was testing these gel pens was that, is it this one? No. These ones are slightly thicker and I do love a nice thick gel pen, and these have these colors, so black, blue, red, green and purple. I think I would like to try one. Let's try purple. Again, it's protected. It's very juicy just from the get-go. Guess in the comments what I like drawing the most. Yes, you guessed it right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. It does feel really smooth to draw with. So I can't wait to incorporate it into my everyday sketchbooks. For now, I'll probably stick to my, you know, the ones I'm currently using, because I don't want to just have millions of art supplies that I end up using, half using, and then they're all in one pot, loads of pens lying around, you know, it's a bit messy. Yeah, I quite like this. I think I will use it a lot. Just looking at the information about it, it's also water-based pigment and waterproof. And it's a brand, it's made in Japan. Cool. And they have like fun zebra stripes on them. It's for more visual appeal. So I think that will be it. I don't want to open the other pens, just for the purposes of, you know, we've tested all of them. Cool, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your favorite colors and how you use highlighter pens in your art, if you do. And yeah, I think I'll stick to mixing the two types of pens. One thing I'll test in a second is how easy it is to draw on top of this. Bearing in mind this wasn't dry fully. It smudges a little bit, but I think it probably will be possible to go over with color. So that might be a nice way to use these, actually. Kind of as line work on top of the highlighters. That could be fun. In fact, I can probably outline this cut. Cute. It does skip a little bit on top of the pens, but not excessively. And these swatches are dry, so I'll try drawing on top of these. Okay, it's waterproof but not mildliner proof, so you probably want to draw with the color first and then add the line work on top with the gel pen. One last thing is I want to check they're actually waterproof. Okay, the gel is not perfect, but honestly, I rarely ever mix gel pens with water. I think it's weird, and I don't expect them to be waterproof, but it doesn't. Actually, I'm not sure if this one is. Okay, the Sarasa clip doesn't claim to be waterproof. It's this one that does. It's probably still drying. Like with some of these pens, you need to wait a bit longer for it to dry. But let's try it anyway. Yeah, much better. Okay, maybe the Sarasa clip aren't meant to be waterproof, but these ones seem to be better. This one does say it's waterproof. Cool. I hope you enjoyed this. It's a bit of a weird format, I guess, maybe new, different. I think it's more interesting to test materials in this way rather than just create blobs on the page. But yeah, let me know what you think. Give me a like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love reading them, like I said. And yeah, have a lovely day artsing. Until next time, bye! So now you should see a link to my sketchbook tours, like promised. So you can click on that and continue watching videos with me. I have tons of sketchbook tours, so if you click onto that playlist, you will have plenty to have in the background, or to keep you company, or to be inspired by, hopefully. Yeah, I go through sketchbooks like crazy, so see you there. Bye!